Good to go.
Good to go. All right. Hi, guys. I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
This is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, and we hope that you guys will subscribe to become Misfit members of Comic Club yourselves. Share your opinions of the story in the comments below. Stick around till after our conversation for our episodic comic quality poll, as well as after the Misfit Picture Show's logo for any potential bloopers that the episode could provide.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Garen, what a week for the comic book industry.
It's been nuts. It's been nuts. I've even had people who probably aren't even into comics that much in my family hit me up going, so wait, is it because of the virus or is it because of what else? Why there's no comic books? Like, what's going on? Because I was like, oh, wow, okay, well, that's interesting.
It seems honestly like, the world has shifted, the world has changed, and every industry, every business is affected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the comic book industry is like a casualty.
Yeah.
It didn't have any funds left around to keep afloat for a bit. It was just
yeah.
And
it's sad because think about all the films and television shows that we watch and where they came from.
And like Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
Since 2007, Iron Man, 13 years has become the number one film franchise of all time. Not just, it's been the best in the last 13 years. All time.
Yep.
There's Marvel Comics. And, 2007, 5 years before that, Marvel Comics filed for bankruptcy. How what a change. And it's heartbreaking. There's so much, we could get in whole conversations about that, but we're here to talk comic books.
Comic books.
And there was actually a comic book that was released this week.
Which is really cool how it was released because it was already premeditated so it was meant to be a digital release first, right?
Right. They call it digital first. So
digital first.
Batman, The Adventures Continue by Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, and Ty Templeton.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be a digital first, and as far as I know, it's a 6-issue miniseries, and it's going to be bi-weekly, which means every 2 weeks you'll get the next chapter.
Digitally?
Yeah. So 2 weeks from now, issue 2 will be out. We don't have to wait a month, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And something very special about this one, which I don't think was planned, but because of the circumstances, there's a deal going on for this first issue, correct?
A deal. Yes, there is. If you, really cheap. It's really, really nice to, 99 cents. If you go to comixology.com, they're selling it for a deal right now. I had to double check even because I was like, is that real? It is. So, you can go there. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link them because I think they have a partnership, Comixology and Amazon. So
cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for $1. I mean, come on. So let's get into this. Gorgeous cover by Mr. Dave Johnson.
Gorgeous. I actually, it was one of those where it's that, for me, that typical kind of Batman over the city, dark night kind of experience. So I kind of skimmed past it being like, looks great. Looks like a Batman cover. Came back after I finished. Looks appropriate.
It's appropriate.
And then came back after it and really took it in and seeing all the, I didn't even see the villains on the wall the first time looking at it, it was to go back over and like, oh, that's really cool. So.
And the kind of, I don't know how you'd say that, but the shading on his body, the shading on the villains' faces,
Mm-hmm.
everything around them is very stark, like
Yep.
shadows. Bam,
Mm-hmm.
blocks to the like moon in the background, like the sky and the shadows on the buildings, but
Yeah. Yep.
bits of depth
Yeah.
caused by the kind of just the shading on the faces and stuff is really, really cool. Um, Before we get into the issue, actually, usually we try and like establish what is your history with Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah. Well, that was 91, 92. I think it was
I
the
believe
animated series.
so. Yep.
I was not old enough
Possibly 90.
yet for that to be a thing for me. But I did, I believe, probably 8 years ago or so, in the last like 8 to 5 years, I think it was on Amazon for a little while.
Okay.
Um, Maybe been on Netflix, something like that. Probably, I could be getting this wrong, but I did binge watch the first few seasons. Like
Cool.
I did watch it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like stayed up, fell asleep to it, kind of like religiously and everything. And so, um, and yeah, I remember thinking how it being such an older show
Mm.
still held up with the storyline and even the art and like, yeah, it's a cartoon, but just being like, oh, this was almost 30 years ago. Like that's crazy, like, so I was
Yeah.
very impressed with it.
Being older than you, I was at like the perfect age when this came out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like I believe the very first episode aired as like a special on like it aired on Saturday mornings, but for the
Mm-hmm.
very first episode they aired a special at like on Friday night at 6 p.m. or something like that. And
Mm,
my buddy kind of like made an event of it.
yeah.
And I believe it was on Leather Wings, I think is the first episode they aired, which was a Man Bat episode.
Mm.
And there was a specific animator who did several episodes, like a handful of them, like the Gray Ghost episode, which Adam, oh, shoot, who was the Batman from the 60s?
Adam West.
Adam West did a voice, and the first episode of Clayface, the first episode of Two-Face, the first episode of Robin's Reckoning, which
Mm.
was awarded an Emmy
Mm-hmm.
for daytime something or other. There were these handful of episodes that a specific animator did that even at that young age, I was like, something is special about these
Yeah.
episodes. Like even the rest of this, the whole series is really interesting. Everything was drawn on black paper.
Yeah.
Like there was just a lot that they did right. They set the template that, and I think unfortunately, animation still to this day has not topped.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was groundbreaking. Everything from the music that was inspired by the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Danny
Mm-hmm.
Elfman score. The whole thing was
Yeah,
genius.
that intro is classic.
Yeah. Awesome. So I've been a longtime fan. I never really watched, the universe expanded to Superman the Animated Series,
Mm-hmm.
Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond. There were several movies, the Batman and Robin Adventures, something like that. But it's all this same continuity by the same creators over this long form story. And they do reference previous episodes and adventures.
Oh, cool.
But
Yeah.
it is really a cool shared universe of an animated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they did a lot. And Paul Dini, who is one of the writers here, he was one of the main writers of the series and actually created like Harley Quinn. He's the creator of her because she
Oh,
showed up
cool.
in the animated series before anything.
Gotcha. I
They
think I
later
remember
brought
hearing that.
her
Yeah.
into the comic books. Um, and he went on to write, what is that really popular Batman video game? Arkham
Oh
City?
yeah, Arkham Asylum.
Is that what it was? Arkham Asylum?
Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum. Yeah, it's all those. There's
Okay.
it's like a 3 trilogy
He
kind of thing.
wrote at least the first one and maybe did the story for the second two.
Gotcha.
So having him on board this is really cool. And then Alan Burnett and Ty Templeton, along with Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, and the late, great Mike Parobeck, they did these Batman Adventure comic books back in the day, which did not only tie in to the animated series, had a back and forth with the animated series. So it really was like part of the universe. It's really cool. So to have them back on board for this, that they brought them back, is very, very special indeed. That opening kind of the hardware part 1 and the title page with the character, the creators, like that's perfect. That's totally reminiscent of how every episode would start.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Again, animated series I just recently, in the last few years or so, like I said, watched. But it is ironic. We've talked about this in past episodes. I haven't read that much Batman, but he was probably one of my original kind of superheroes that I grew up with. Like I have my Turtles, but also Batman is like, there's stories of my aunt and uncle, like when it was nap time, putting on the Michael Keaton, and me just watching and falling asleep to that over and over again. But so jumping into this and reading it, I was like, oh, this is something, different, especially with all of our different, Marvel reads.
Yeah.
And then also having seen this series or watched the television, it was fun. It was lots of fun. There was the one thing that again, not to even like jump with a Debbie Downer, the thing that I was expecting a little bit more of was the coloring was almost a little too bright for me. Even for the animated series, it's still a pretty dark show. Like it's a dark.
Oh, you're totally right. And I agree. One of my notes was those first, really everything except for the final 2 pages. If you look at the 2 pages where he's infiltrating where the robot is, and then Lex comes up to him, then you see like almost like there's a shadow over everything in those final pages. And that's exactly how the whole comic should have been. Like, the series was done on black paper, and that's that undeniable like grade to everything. Like all the back within the gutters, like all the white spaces between the panels, it should have been black. That would have been cool, like those little touches.
Because even though it is cartoon, even though it looks that way, as far as like, it almost looked too childish, which is funny. It's a comic book, but still, it's Batman. And so you have it to where even that first page right off with Bane, if that was black in the background, it would have changed it so much. Even with the blues being lighter in this, that black background would have probably just been enough of a touch.
Right, and bring the brightness down. It almost looks like it was a coloring book.
That's exactly what.
And with the technology, like if you look at the moon in the first page, basically look at the credits page. And you see the gradients of the shadows behind him and him coming out of it. Every page should have had that.
No, every page should have been that. It kind of it was a different thing. Like going from that page to the first thing, it was like, okay. And even that, it was like, oh wow, you lit it up a lot. And then it goes into, and Bane looks like this just like strong cartoon coloring book character, and not this. And it was fun with it, it was like fun humor, Batman humor in it.
Yeah. And everything, yeah, I think everything else is there. If the brightness was brought down,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would have honestly made a big difference
Yeah,
in this comic.
like the portion where he's chasing the robot and it's all red.
Mm-hmm.
The background's all red. If they would have just made the outline black and not white,
Yeah.
just picture that, how that would have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And even, where he's throwing the batarangs at the back of the robot and then the explosion.
Yeah.
See how
Oh yeah,
him in the
yeah.
air,
It's
this is
almost
very
it's
specific,
yeah,
but the red at the side where he is compared to the red
yeah.
at the moon, it's
Mm-hmm.
slightly darker.
It's the same. Batman and again, two different worlds, but Batman and Daredevil should never have white borders.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it should be that dark Gotham, dark Hell's Kitchen, that kind
Yeah,
of.
you're out at night.
Yeah, you're at night. Exactly. You're.
You're out at
But.
night. You're in the cave.
Mm-hmm,
You're at a party in the evening.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. During the day, that's fine, but at night, it should all be black.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, the dialogue is perfect. Did you hear any of the voices from the cartoon in your head?
Yeah. When I was going through, I could even Alfred and everything.
Yeah.
You could hear their voice.
I felt especially Alfred.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right off the bat, when Lex was talking to him,
Mm-hmm.
right then and there, I was like, he's involved with this robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, is that, I don't know. It was just one of those like,
It's turning on a cartoon,
yeah.
and it really does have that. Like even the 3-act kind of structure of it.
Mm-hmm.
You start off with like a little bit of adventure right in
Yep.
your face, and then the mystery is there. He goes back to the cave and has a conversation with Alfred. Then he's
Mm-hmm.
like out mixing it up as Bruce Wayne, and then a villain is there, may or may not have something to do with it. You're back into the action. Like it is the same exact structure as the cartoon.
Yeah.
I like that the chronology of it. You can picture it after the animated series kind of ended, but certainly obviously before Batman Beyond, and that these circumstances that I believe it was Batman Beyond Revenge of the Joker or Return of the Joker. It was like a movie that there's like an uncensored version of it that it's dark. It's pretty grim, but this is before the flashbacks in that. And it mentions the Superman Batman team up. It mentions a couple of the actual episodes of the past. You could, I'm not super familiar, but I'm sure some of our viewers might be, and they could probably pinpoint exactly where this takes place.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. That makes
Which
sense.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Lining it up, talking about Superman and all that stuff. It was cool to see that we are just jumping into a place in this reality.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have much else to say? There's a shadowed gentleman that is watching him when the robot is there. And he's like, there he goes, Bat versus Bot. I forgot how much fun Gotham can be. It looks like this is going to get personal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Where's that at? I know what you're talking about, but I'm looking for it.
Yeah, right during he just talks to Bullock in the cop car.
Oh, yeah, when it flips?
Yeah, just after that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think it's about to get personal. Right once he hits Wayne Tower. Right. What's it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody there standing and watching.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know who that is. You know who he is?
Know who it is, so I'm not going to say it. But it's a very cool, good reveal. It's going.
Is it I don't know. Is it a good guy or a bad guy? Come on, go. Tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
Is
Don't
it a
look
good
it
guy or
up.
bad guy?
It is easy to find out if you wanted to, but
Comment in the comments below.
it's nice to have something, especially even if it's something so simple, almost because it's so simple, kind of a nice, great escape. And to have another new chapter coming out in 2 weeks, hopefully again for $1. Like, yeah, of course. It's a no-brainer. I give this story a B, solid B. It was super fun. When I was reading it, I didn't take any notes because I was just grateful.
Yeah, I didn't take much. I kind of did play by play. It was it's kind of getting into that reading format of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more just taking bullet points of what was happening. But yeah, for the most part, I give it a B as well. It wasn't like it. For me to be an A, I almost didn't want to already suspect Lex, even though in the like you mentioned it being a TV show kind of thing, it's kind of there already.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
Could have played a little bit different with that.
That's
But for what it was, total joy. And definitely within this time, we have time. It makes me want, hey, like I'm going to go back and watch a couple episodes of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, and I wanted to do that too. I even looked up. It's on DC, their streaming service, their website now, where you can read all their comics. You can also watch all their features, which this is on there. I think they're doing a free trial like most do for a week, and then afterwards it's like $7.99 for a month, something like that. It's $7. I don't know what the year is, but yeah.
During this time, and considering we were ready to pay $3.99 for maybe 4 comics today, $7.99 for a month during this time. You'd get a lot out of that money, and to have access to all the DC stuff, all the comics, all the movies, all the animated series. I think that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys, if any of you have the DC service, could you tell us in the comments if you think it's worth it? I think DC and in the rumor mill might combine with HBO Max coming out soon.
Gotcha.
And Zack Snyder actually did do you know who Zack Snyder is, the director?
Yes.
Okay. He did a live watch along with me for Batman versus Superman a couple nights ago.
Oh, that's cool.
YouTube, you could it's up there.
It's up there for him.
Yeah. Press play and watch the movie and sit with Zack Snyder and watch it as he talks about it the whole way through.
Oh, that's cool. Commentary.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of it, he played a little joke, all but confirmed that the Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League will be coming later on HBO Max.
Nice. Cool.
And there's a big rumor that he, with Henry Cavill, are going to do Man of Steel 2.
Hey, it's perfect time to start these, possibilities for when this, storm is over.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So again, we gave it B's. Let us know in your comment quality poll. Comment below. Let us know what you give it, if you like it, if you're looking forward to, and what you're doing right now as well. When technically this is the only new comic that came out this week. So yeah.
In a lot of ways, I'm always rereading my old comics, and I just finished my Marvel line and like put them in order and stuff like that, like the good reading order. So I just went under our storage stairs and brought out all the DC and put the Marvel in there.
Oh, nice.
I was about to start getting into DC, so this was actually kind of a nice primer for that.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you guys read DCs as well? I know we've been doing mostly X-Men and all but exclusively Marvel. Are you guys fans of the DC universe? Let us know.
Yeah. To be continued. Bum, 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 bum,
It was a good little
bum, bum.
fun one, Garen. It was a good little fun one.